Welcome again, Maxim here, and today I will talk about the fight with the second local boss on the Orb Valleys, Exploiter Orb. What you need to do and own to start the fight, how does it look like, what will be helpful during it, and what to pay attention to. To be able to start the bounty for Exploiter Orb, you need to have the maximum level of the Solaris United Syndicate, just like with the previous boss. However, this is not the only condition, because you must have a diluted Thermia. You can get it on the cyclical event Thermia Fractures. Go to the Orb Valleys, search for the Exploiter Orb near the Temple of Profit, kill the coolant Arachnoid and pick up the coolant canister. Put it in the fracture and defend it till it's sealed. You will get a resource after sealing 4 fractures, or if you use 4 canisters at once in one fracture. Once you have gotten diluted Thermia, you can start the bounty to kill Exploiter. Do it in the back room or go straight to the required cave. For the first time you can take the bounty to learn where to go, or you can head to the right edge of the map, cave northeast of the Harindi crater. But you can hunt this boss even without maximum syndicate level and even without a resource. As I said, you can skip picking the bounty, just go straight to the cave. But how to skip a required resource? It is enough that only one player in a team got it. While inside deck 12, one teammate uses Thermia in the console and the fight will begin. First you have to shoot down 2 rocks on which the boss is standing. When it gets down, your task is to destroy vents. I recommend to start with the one on the right side. To destroy the next ones, you have to get rid of the icing by throwing canisters with concentrated Thermia, which will appear from time to time in 4 special points. You throw them with an alternative shot button. After removing ice from 2 more vents and destroying them, Orb will run upstairs. Here, depending on how the script works, because there is a small bug with the boss AI, Orb will try to escape and set itself on starting position or stay still near the ceiling. No matter where it is, you have to remove ice from the last vent and destroy it. Then the fight will move on to the next stage. Now you go outside. Coolant Arachnoids spawn around the boss and try to cool it down. Those that are killed before they do, drop a canister with coolant, which can be filled with concentrated Thermia in fractures appearing around the boss. Throw containers at Exploiter to increase its temperature. When the bar on the left side of the screen reaches the end, you will be able to attack the orb with a melee weapon. That will make it vulnerable and you will be able to deal damage to the exposed part. Then the boss returns to the heating up and cracking the ground stage. After the third destruction of the exposed part, Exploiter dies, drops some rewards and explodes like a profit taker, so you have to move away to avoid explosion, around 300 meters. Now, when you know how the fight looks like, what characters should you choose? It depends on your playstyle. When you distribute tasks properly, you do not need any specific kind of Warframe here. Only appropriate builds to make you less fragile. However, there are some that can make the fight easier. First of all, a buff or a support will be useful. Wisp does great here. Slow Nova is a nice option that gives you more time to react to approaching Arachnoids. Gara with a wall of glass is able to block their way to the Exploiter Orb. Except those frames, you can choose something that kills enemies quickly in some area. Besides, you can take anything you like, but regardless of your choice, you have to be prepared for a large amount of damage pointed in your direction. Okay, let's move on to how to improve the whole mission. Stage inside deck 12. After destroying the first vent, try to aim and throw the canister between 2 vents on the back of the orb. A well-made throw will partially defrost both fans at once. So it is enough to throw 2 canisters to defrost the next vents required to progress. However, do not defrost totally the third one, because when almost all of them are destroyed, the last one will freeze again. However, you can throw 1 canister at it to partially defrost it, if you are playing in a team. When playing solo, it doesn't matter if you do it. An additional convenience is using the Archwing during the stage. You avoid icing on the ground and easily reach the orb in higher place. There is one more convenience at this stage of the fight, but you can't do it in the first run. If you are going to fight the Exploiter several times without leaving Orb Valleys, you can return to deck 12 carrying Thermia containers from the previous fight. Thanks to this, you don't have to wait for them to appear and are able to defrost vents way faster. 2 containers are enough, and you will significantly speed up the fight. Speaking of containers, when leaving deck 12, you can take some with you as well, to quickly perform the first warm-up at the start. In addition, it is important to remember to try not to let cooling Arachnoids to get closer to her. One person could guard the area from arcing to make sure that it will not happen. A Mesha can come in handy in this role. And when it comes to throwing canisters, when you throw them from an arcing, you can do it from a really long distance, because the canisters are designed to always fly towards the orb. When throwing them from 200 to 300 meters, with the cursor pointing at Exploiter, you should easily hit the target. About the mission duration. If you finish it in around 10 to 12 minutes, it's a pretty good time, depending on whether you play solo or in a team. Sometimes coolant Arachnoids do not spawn. This slows down the mission, but without bugs, an efficient team that knows this mission and game mechanics very well is able to go under 7 minutes. However, this is close to the perfection. 10 to 12 minutes are really good enough. If your first attempts are longer, don't worry. The rewards are local fish parts, minerals, Hildren parts, a chance for deck 12 captura, a 5% chance for one of the 2 ephemeras, and the last reward is guaranteed. It's a lazulite toroid. About the toroids. They are fundamental items in progression of the Vox Solari syndicate. You already know how to get Charisma toroid. Charisma is worth 6000 and lazulite 12,000. They can be multiplied with a resource booster, and of course they are a great way to farm points. However, there are more toroids and you need all of them, due to the fact that they are required as sacrifices to advance to next levels in the syndicate. There are 5 types of toroids in total. The basic one are Calda, Sola and Vega. They are worth 1000 points each. You can get them in 2 ways, from Arachnoids or from enemies in specific locations. Calda has a 20% chance to drop from Sido Arachnoid, same chance for Sola Toroid, from Kite Arachnoid. They appear when the corpus alarm is active and high. Vega, however, has a only 1% chance to drop from the Might Arachnoid. There are a lot of them when fighting the Exploiter, but there's a better way to farm. All 3 toroids have their own special places where they can drop from each killed enemy. Calda drops at the Enrichment Labs, Sola at the Temple of Profit, and Vega at the Spaceport. Each mob killed in this area has a 2% chance to drop a toroid. It doesn't seem much, but after leaving the alarm to rise to the max level, enemies should appear quite often. In addition, a resource booster works very well. If you have a resource chance booster, it will also increase the frequency of these drops. Plus, you can use characters that make an extra loot, an augmented Korra or an augmented Hydroid. Note that only one of these characters can provide an additional drop from a killed mob, and there is also Necros. Alternatively, if you like and want, you can use Ivara or Atlas. When choosing a place to farm in these 3 locations, you can of course do it outside, but you can enter each of these outposts. I recommend finding the entrance and not leaving it during farming, as it will reduce the area where the mobs appear. And that's all in this video. Good luck with farming Thermia, Toroids and killing Exploiter Orb. If you have any questions, please type them in the comment section or visit one of my streams. Link in the description. See you next time. Bye.